Okay, so, all right, come on over. So, come on over, you guys. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves, the division that they're in, and where they live, and then I'm going to start with my rapid fire question. So, Jarrell.
I'm Jarrell Baton, I'm Physique Pro. My wife, just downstairs, is Lana Baton, Wellness Pro.
Look at this
And
kid.
this is Baby Zalia, whatever she wants to do.
Okay, Jarrell, we want to know what has been the biggest challenge in your career?
Taking time off to grow.
Ooh, taking time off to grow. That is huge because if you want to be competitive, you've got to be willing to be patient. Amen? Thank you, Jarrell. All right, Missy, this is our Miss Fitness Olympia! So I just told everybody what division you do, but where do you live?
I live in Redmond. Tanji always gives the best introductions, so thank you.
Hey, where's Corey? I'm coming after your job. Okay, so Missy, what advice would you give to new competitors?
So if you're a new competitor, I would recommend hiring a coach in your off season. Your off season, like Jarrell said, is so important. We do our competition and sometimes, people fall off the wagon and they're not holding themselves accountable, but a coach is going to hold you accountable in that off season. You're going to get good training, good nutrition, so that's very important. Hire a coach.
Especially in today's time, when I was competing 20 years ago, that wasn't even a thing. So people like me were showing up with no tan, right? Had the wrong shoes on, just all over the place. It was a hot mess. So if you feel like that, you can always go up for there, okay? That's good news. Michael Spencer.
IFBB Pro, Michael Spencer. I'm a classic physique pro.
All right, and where do you live?
Mill Creek, Washington.
Okay, so we want to know, how has becoming an IFBB Pro impacted your life?
Well, it's given me the ability to give back to everybody else coming into the sport and sharing my experiences with them, from going to being an amateur, not knowing what's going on, to the same type of thing, not shaving, tanning, things like that, to being able to give them all the ins and outs. So it's been an awesome experience, to say the least.
I love that. Service before self. Thank you, Michael. Okay, Mark Sundine, he does a few different divisions, so tell us what they are.
Men's Physique Classic Bodybuilding.
So he's pretty much done everything, okay? But you turned pro in bodybuilding?
Yes.
Okay, where do you live?
Bothell, Washington.
Okay, Mark lives in Bothell. So Mark, what has been the biggest challenge in your career?
Always being the smallest guy.
Can anybody relate? Yes. Right? A little bit. So how do you deal with that? Like, how do you come on the other side, positive, and keep on going?
Just, I guess the best thing to do is, you can really worry about what you can do for yourself. So,
That's right.
You heard this cliche 100 times, be the best version of yourself, because you really can't control who stands next to you. All you can do is do the best of yourself and see what the judges actually like and just keep coming back. So that's how
great.
it's been with you.
That's
I've been
great.
last place, first place, all over the places.
Perfect. Thanks, Mark. All right, Dominic.
Classic Pro and Bodybuilding Pro.
All right, classic and bodybuilding.
Lake Stevens.
And from Lake Stevens, and we want to know, what advice would you give a new competitor?
That's a lot. I would.
There's too many. Forget it. It's a lot, guys. We need to write a book.
Well, since we're getting ready to compete, I would just try to stay chill. Today's going to be a lot. You've already probably experienced it, a lot of highs and lows, or hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. Try to find just a calm state. Don't allow yourself to it's exciting now, because before you're all training by yourself, and you might see a couple people in the gym, but now all of a sudden you're like, holy, it's real.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who are into this as well, and everybody's excitement and energy up. Try to enjoy it, but don't let it get you too high or too low, because that could really have a negative effect on your body in the next few days. So just try to chill in, keep it chill, keep it low. Save that energy for the moment you step on stage and give it everything you got. Don't hold back at that point. Just love it.
You guys, that is so good. How many of you guys picked a tank or shirt today that said mindset is everything on the back? Anybody? So that's what we're talking about. That's one of the reasons why I picked that slogan, because what Dom is talking about is so important. When people say, how do you make it in this business for 15 years, 20 years? It's all about mental training and mindset. But that's something you got to train just as hard as you do the physical. So that is awesome. Thanks, Dom. Jordan.
Jordan Hubbard. I'm from Edmonds. I'm a men's physique pro.
And you told us where you're from?
Edmonds.
Edmonds. Okay, so how has becoming an IFBB Pro impacted your life?
So just competing in general has just been like life-changing for me. From where I came from to where I'm at now is just pretty nuts. But you know, family, friends, like, you know, my wife Kimberly and I would just like started this, basically just me and her, and you know, and it's been several years now, and being a pro, I mean, now we have a big team and we have like a ton of friends and a church and people just behind us all the time, you know. So yeah, and now we have a new gym coming up here in Bothell this year, so it's just been a huge blessing.
So community, I'm hearing about a lot
yeah.
about community, you guys. That's great. Thanks, Jordan. Okay, Emmy.
Okay, you didn't make me nervous. I'm a person, I'm a bikini pros, and I'm from Bonnie Lake area. I moved here a few years ago, so I'm not really good at location stuff.
No
yet.
problem. So Emmy is a bikini pro, and we want to know what has been the biggest challenge in your career so far?
There's two. The comparison game, we all have that. Like to admit it or not, we all want to be, we understand it is you vs you, and we know that, but I think at some point you always compare with social media and all, you compare yourself, so that goes straight to my advice for you all is just stay in your lane, do your thing, 1% better every day, and don't compare yourself with others, don't compare your chapter 1 with people chapter 15. Do you. Build the best version of yourself, not just bodybuilding, but in general. And another thing is have fun, and that's really just the same thing. If you compare yourself, you're not going to have fun. You do this, we all suffer in hardcore, and I get it. Oh, a lot of muscle here. I get it. But we do this because we want to have fun, because we love it. We love the community. We love the connection between people. We love the friendship. So enjoy every second of this. Bodybuilding, show, everything. Just soak it all in and have fun. That's all.
So how many guys have made that mistake of comparing yourself to somebody to the point where it is jacking you up mentally, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you do it right now. I just want to tell a quick story that I know Missy can appreciate, and Amy, you're lucky that you don't have to do this, but when I would warm up for the fitness round, all of us would warm up. When I was new, I would look around at what the other girls were doing, and I would totally freak myself out because I'd see this girl doing gymnastics, this girl doing a handstand for 20 seconds, and I would totally freak out until I figured out the whole stay in your lane, and so I switched it to where I started to admire, celebrate, and be inspired by. So if I saw someone, I'm like, you go girl, yes, let me get the energy. Oh, she's awesome, she's awesome.
Yes.
We're about to bring you a great show. And then I would tell myself, now I'm gonna bring my hip hop in, triple push-up, blasting, like everything that I did good, that's what I would elevate. And that's how I was able to combat the whole comparison game. So if you're gonna compare, be inspired, but also appreciate your uniqueness. So thank you, Emmy, that is so good. Charity.
Hi, my name is Charity Sumileg. I'm an IFBB Figure Pro. I'm in Kitsap County, so Bremerton, Kingston, that area I frolic. And my question.
Your question is, what advice would you give to someone who's new?
Oh, who's new? Okay, gosh. Can I give two?
Sure.
Okay, so.
30 seconds.
Oh, okay, so first one. First time competitors, where are you? Congratulations, we're so glad you're here, be proud. When you're on stage, like everyone feels the jitters, okay? Take a deep breath, but I just want to encourage you, kind of accept that you're supposed to feel that way. Like, it's okay to feel that way, and you're feeling exactly how you should in that moment. So instead of like, I gotta get on stage, perform, and run off, because especially what Mark was saying, Mark Mason, with they're like waving and they like take off, like don't take forever because there's someone behind you, but at the same time, instead of letting those nerves overcome you, like, okay, gotta go by, like, embrace the nerves and sit in it. Like, let yourself feel it and sit in it. So that's for that. My other advice is we all have, hopefully, friends, families. Tanji gave me this advice, and it is so important. She's amazing. So I took this. So we have our family members, and sometimes it's hard for them to embrace, like, what we're doing. We're weird. We're kind of awesome, but we do weird stuff. So meal prep, like people who are in your close circle, instead of being like, I got to do this and press them away, actually invite them to do it with you, if they're willing, obviously. But invite them, that way they become a part of your journey, and when you get to the stage, they're not just proud of you, they're proud of themselves. And it's not just your success, it's your guys' success as a unit. So like find that hype woman. I saw an amazing hype woman. I don't know where she is today, but she was hyping up her lady. There she is, girl, I see you. She was like, that's my girl. But try to involve who you can. And don't just push them away. Like if you have social events, sorry, this is longer than 30 seconds, ask someone to go do cardio with you. Let's do a cardio date. Like there's ways to spend time with people and maintain relationships if you can. Yeah, let's do cardio.
So that's a very powerful advice, is inviting others. So this is the first time that, this is my husband, Dr. B, right here. And I don't know where Blaze is. Is he gaming right now? But this is my stepson, Ace. And this is their first time being at our show. And I'm telling you, we put them to work all week, okay? So if any of your metal stickers are crooked or anything like that, it's because, I'm just kidding. But they have been involved with everything from trophy tags, medals, tiaras, all of it, literally all of it. So it makes a huge difference. So I know that tomorrow when they see you guys on stage, they're gonna feel like they were a part of it, and they're gonna take ownership of this event when it goes off really awesome. Okay, yeah, we are. Okay, Alexa.
I'm Alexa Berg. I'm an IFBB Bikini Pro, and I'm from Bellevue, Washington.
All right, Alexa, how has being an IFBB Pro impacted your life?
Oh man, it's crazy because I turned pro when I was 21 and I was still in college, so I was pursuing a degree, and I didn't understand that like this sport was going to become like part of who I am as a person. And like graduated, like had a different job, and now I'm doing like fitness full time as a personal trainer, and it's just like to this day, being an IFBB Pro is like a bigger deal to me than my college degree.
Yeah.
Because like you can't buy it, you can't study for it.
You have to
like
earn it.
you gotta earn it.
Yeah.
And like not a lot of people have college degrees. Not a lot of people are pros.
You can buy
so like
Yes,
so just
that's great.
sit with that if it happens.
Thanks, Alexa. Thank you.
I bet it's so
Jessica.
crazy.
Hi, my name is Jessica.
All right.
Still working on English.
I live in Boston. Competed women's physique division.
Women's physique. So
Yeah.
Jessica, what's been your biggest challenge in your career so far?
Virar pro.
To turn pro.
To turn pro. So how many guys are on? How many of you guys would love to turn pro in your careers?
Eu descobri que
Wow. So Jessica, has it been the biggest challenge because of time management and having to prep while, living your daily life?
que você tenta conciliar isso com a sua vida.
eu descobri que depois que eu virei pro,
I found
o
out
jogo começou.
I found out that after turning pro, the game really begins after that.
Oh my goodness. Are you guys ready for
Então
that?
aproveite bem,
So enjoy
muito
as much
aproveita
as you
bem,
can,
que é muito difícil depois disso.
because it becomes like a real pro show after this.
I will say this, okay? The pro card seems to be such an elusive title, right? And so many people want that status so bad that all they do is rush to get there. And typically, I love to tell this story because, okay, think about you're a John Person. You're winning overalls left and right, and then you go to nationals, and maybe you win your pro card, and then you go to your first pro show, and all you've ever known is success. And then you go to your first pro show, and I'm not going to curse, but it's like they say, "Welcome to the pros," right? Like that's what it feels like most of the time when you turn pro, because you go from being at the top all the way to the bottom. So all I'm saying is don't rush to go to the bottom. Enjoy. That's why I'm always surprised when people do like one show and they go straight to nationals. It's like, hey, get all those overall titles, go to nationals, like get all that experience. Because if you go to the turn pro and you've only done a couple of shows, it's like you don't even have the experience to really excel. And nobody's in a hurry to not be successful. So you have to ask yourself, are you pursuing the status? Or are you truly pursuing excellence? And what is that going to take? It's going to take you putting in the time. So thank you. That's really, really great. All right, Donnie, I just feel like you're hiding back there. Step up for a second.
I thought he was in the lineup.
No, it's okay. So let's talk about our OG. Donnie, tell us what division you're doing, where you're from.
So I'm bodybuilding. I'm in the 60 division.
Over 60.
So I'm over 60 world champion in bodybuilding and 212.
right.
So yeah.
Okay, so what advice would you give to competitors right now, especially if they're
And
new?
there's so much, but you know, I'll say what I said with some of the folks over here. Is after shows, I tend to write an after-action review with the page right down the middle, all the positives, all the negatives, and you can use that for future shows because all the negatives, you know, you're not doing those again, and all the positives, you get to keep them in.
Ooh, that's good.
And what that does, that feeds on all your future shows because you got all those journals to look back on. Because right now, you don't have it up here to just keep that in your head.
That's right. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Donnie. That's good. All right, Tiana, step up. So Tiana is one of our youngest bikini pros to turn pro. You turned pro when you were
18.
18. Okay, Tiana.
Wow.
So where are you from? Obviously, you do bikini.
From Bellevue.
From Bellevue, and you just went blazing already. You've done how many shows in a couple months?
So I've done 3 pro shows.
3 pro shows, right? And she just turned pro last year. So she's a great example of, did you win your first overall?
I've actually never won an overall.
Okay,
I've only
so
won my
you won
class.
you won your class.
Yeah.
Then you went to nationals, and then you turned pro.
No, so I did my first national show, I placed 4th, and then my second national show, I placed 1st, and then
And you
got
know,
my pro
getting
card.
4 top 5 in your first national show is like a really good deal, really good. So she's an example of someone who has turned pro really, really fast. So how would you say turning pro has impacted your life, especially at your age?
So even though I have that title, I still consider myself an amateur at heart. You know, like I've only been competing for a year, and like I have so much to learn and grow. So like every show, no expectations, just like doing it with my passion, and like I love this so much. So what was the question? Just the advice? It hasn't really impacted it, like in terms of like, oh, like I'm a pro now. I just like, it's just a new responsibility and it's a new part of my life, and like I choose to do this, so it doesn't, I make sure it doesn't take away from other aspects of my life, and I'm still executing everything the same, like with school and everything and family.
I love it. That's good. Thank you. All right, Carolyn.
I'm Carolyn Hudson Harris. I'm from Corvallis, Oregon. I'm from LA, but I live in Corvallis. Go ahead.
Okay, so Carolyn is one of our best posing coaches in the entire Northwest. So especially if you live in Oregon, you've got to check out her classes. So what has been your biggest challenge in your career so far?
My biggest challenge is keeping balance.
Balance.
Because I get fixated and obsessed with greatness, and it makes you selfish when you get that way. So making sure that I work on the balance of staying spiritually balanced, reading books and just doing different things so that it's not just me and bodybuilding, and definitely the family. That's huge in there. But keeping that balance where I'm not just always thinking about my next move that has to do with bodybuilding. So keeping that balance, making sure that you make time for your family, making sure that you stay grounded, because for me, the bodybuilding is a spiritual journey for me. Without having that part, none of it works. So for me, it's important for me to let my light shine, and that comes from within, but I have to get in that relationship and get grounded with the Lord in order for me to allow that light to shine and let some magic happen on the stage.
Can we just clap for that?
Hallelujah.
All right, Jeff, sneak up here real quick. So I want to introduce you guys to Jeff C. He was like my very, very first men's physique client. He was training at the gym I was at, and how old were you?
I was 18.
He was 18,
Yeah.
kind of like a Tiana, where I'm like, wait, who are you? And you need to be doing a show. So how about we just get you ready in a couple months? You learned how to pose, put it on. Actually, his physique was so advanced for men's physique at that time that at some of the more local shows, it was almost like he was more national level, so he got marked down because he was so muscular. Right now, it's like, it would be a totally different story. But Jeff, where are you from? Tell us who's competing tomorrow, that's special, and where you live right now.
Hey, my name's Jeff Side. I grew up in Renton. I live in Los Angeles right now. My first show was actually Tanji's show, so it's kind of special to be back here. My dad is competing tomorrow. He's doing the 60 plus. So, gotta come out, gotta support him. Excited to see how he goes. I don't know, where is he?
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
All right. is where you get your genetics from. Okay. All right. So, what advice would you give to our new competitors?
So I know a lot of you guys want to make some money out of this. So my biggest advice is don't wait for opportunity to come knock on your door. You got to go out there. You got to make the opportunity. So don't be afraid to get your face out there. There's a lot of sponsors at this show. They're all going to have a booth tomorrow. Go introduce yourself to all of them. Tell them who you are. Tell them your story. You might get a sponsor out of it. Make it happen. Good luck tomorrow.
See, I think that's so good, Jeff. Like, we could do a whole seminar on how to market yourself in the fitness industry, but I think the main thing is, as athletes, we have to remember, I don't want to say we're a dime a dozen, but there are a lot of us. There's a lot of pros now, even. So even the pros, they can't just think, I turned pro, so all these things are going to happen. It's actually not the case. But what people like is for you to create that mutually benefiting relationship. So if you want something, let's say you want a sponsorship, you go to a company and you say, all right, you own Egg Whites Internationals, I love Egg Whites Internationals, how am I going to get your product for free? Well, what do you think you can do for them? You figure that out and you're on your way to figuring out how you can develop mutually benefiting relationships. So that's awesome. Thank you, Jeff. All right, last but not least, Ashley Kaltwasser. She is our most winningest bikini pro ever, which means that she has won the most titles ever in her bikini division. So, Ashley, we're honored to have you here. Where are you from?
I currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, and tell us two things. How has being a pro impacted your life?
Oh man, it's like a dream come true. I feel like Cinderella. I never thought I would get to experience any of this. I was, just a girl from Akron, Ohio. Never thought I would leave the state, but it's given me so many opportunities to travel, to meet people, and a whole world of opportunity opened up for me, and I never really expected all this. So it's like, wow, I just am living a life that I never dreamed could be possible. So I'm very thankful for that.
Well, another question I want to ask, and this is something that I think people might be curious about mindset and mental training wise, because you've done so many shows, and let me tell you something. If you've ever been a champion, you want to know what's hard? Being a champion at one show and then not winning another show. Some of you have not experienced that, but when you do, it is not easy. So Ashley, as somebody who's like rolling in show after show, I mean, she's coming off of what, 3 wins in a row? Like literally in the last month? 2?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? How do you keep that humility that keeps you competing, even though you're the most winningest pro, you've won the Olympia before, and then there's shows that don't work out so great. How do you deal with that?
I'm so glad you brought it up. That is the hardest part about being a winner, is the burden of expectation, meaning that's the only downside of ever winning the Olympia, is the burden of expectation that comes along with it. So you have expectations for yourself and others do, and sometimes it feels like such a big deal if you don't win, but the reality is it's not going to be a winning show every time. There's so many great physiques on stage. It can be anybody's day on any given day. So you just got to come in with the best that you can possibly do, but also realize that, hey, at the end of the day, our sport is subjective and it could go any way, depending. If you're a little off and somebody's really on, so you just got to realize that it's icing on the cake after it. So that's how I try to think of it. It's like, you know what? I won the Olympia 3 times. I won 39 pro shows. Everything now is icing on the cake, so I got to be grateful for that and just come into every show with the mindset that, hey, this is not going to be easy, no matter the size, no matter the location. So just got to bring your best every time.
That's gold. Thank you, Ashley. You need to give yourself grace, and you need to have humility, right? So humility and grace. Okay, not to call you out, but where's Kareem? Is he here? He might be getting tan. But we have somebody that, oh, there you are. Yeah, you're like, really, Tanji? You're like, don't do it, don't do it. No, I'm just saying, when you've been a champion, there's that burden of expectation, and if you can learn how to embrace it, you can be like Ashley and just be slinging shows, winning some, not winning some, doesn't matter, but you're building your legacy. And at the end of the day, that's what you're leaving behind. It's not one show, not one win, but what is your legacy? How do people remember you? What did you stand for? And when I look at Ashley and all of these athletes here, right, there's a lot there. So you guys, you have graciously waded through this competitors meeting that I rolled into this meet and greet. Yes?
You see the two